Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the early morning podcast of the Big Shot Sports Podcast. I know it's early in the morning, but that's okay. So we had the Phil Knight Classic going on today, yesterday, and throughout the whole weekend. So I'm going to give you the quick scores of all the games that happened yesterday and even today, and we're going to get on to college and NFL for the weekend. First of all, in the Phil Knight Classic Invitational, North Carolina beat Portland 89-81. What this game is, Portland really showed that they have a lot of fight in them. Just because you're playing a big school like a North Carolina, you don't bow down. And Portland did not do that. Portland played very well. For what I've seen, they played very well. They gave North Carolina a fight. So North Carolina is getting ripped by the media because of this. You see what I'm saying? But kudos to Portland. They didn't bow down to North Carolina, even though they lost a good game. But you have to continue to build and build and build to get better. This was a very good game. It's nothing that Portland can do to put your head down. No, continue to play. I know it may not make sense, but it will later. Continue to build off of this game. Take that momentum with you, but you can always get better down the stretch. The college season of basketball really has just getting started. So, but look, even for North Carolina, look for them to even get better as well. So let's just keep on going down the line. Let's not forget Kansas. They barely beat Wisconsin 69-68. Let's keep on going, people. Let's keep on going. Tennessee, I'm giving you the game from yesterday. Tennessee beat USC 73-66. Duke, listen to this game. Duke 54, Oregon State 51. What does this tell you about these teams? What does this tell you about these teams? Oregon State is a big school. They play Duke well. Again, for what I saw and for what I witnessed, Duke could have lost this game. These schools like the Oregon State, Portland, they can beat these big schools. Maybe they got tired down the stretch. Maybe their drilling went down. Oh, it's a big school. Oh, it's a powerhouse school. But the Oregon State Beavers played them well. There is nothing negative that I can say about Oregon State Beavers because they played Duke well. Let's keep going. Purdue, they beat West Virginia 80-68. My Alabama Crimson Tide, they beat Michigan State 81-70 to stay unbeaten. Gonzaga, of course, they beat Portland 102-78. Again, this is the Phil Knight Classic here. Let's get into the games for today. Again, the Phil Knight Legacy is all this weekend. The games going on right now, Indiana and Jackson State is both tied 9-9. The games we have today for the Phil Knight Legacy, Duke versus Xavier. This game is at 12:30 on ESPN. Maryland versus Chopping State. North Carolina versus Iowa State. Virginia, they also play as well. They're playing UMES today. Then we have Iowa versus Clemson. This is in the Emerald Coast Classic. Tennessee versus Kansas should be a good game here. That's the Bad Boy Moors battle for Atlantis. Illinois, they're in action today. And UConn versus Alabama. That's in the Phil Knight Invitational. Can they stay unbeaten? This should be a very good game, folks. This is the big shot game of the week right here in college basketball right now. Purdue versus Gonzaga should be a very good game. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Gonzaga fans travel really well. West Virginia fans, they travel. Have you ever been to a college basketball game? West Virginia, Gonzaga, Syracuse, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, schools like that. The fans travel. They travel really well. And that's what these schools do. They travel really well. Then these games here is in Portland. Oregon versus Michigan State. I used to be a big fan of Michigan State, but I'm a Syracuse guy. I used to love watching Michigan State, but I don't know what had gotten into Michigan State. But we're going to get you to the college games for tomorrow as well. Houston versus Kent State in Texas. They are also in action against RGV. That is Rio Grande Valley. That's who Texas will be playing. So let's get you to college football. I know I'm jumping, but I'm a very busy man today. So let's get you to the games today. Cincinnati, they're losing to Tulane 3. No, Cincinnati is beating Tulane 3-0. Baylor 9, Texas 14. The game coming on later at 12. North Carolina State versus NC State. UCLA versus California. Florida versus Florida State. Yesterday's game, Mississippi State, they beat Ole Miss 22-24. So let's get you to the games to tomorrow. We have some very great games tomorrow. We could possibly, notice I said possibly, we could possibly have a few upsets this weekend, but I doubt that very seriously with this first game here. Georgia versus Georgia Tech. They might as well put a stamp on it. The Georgia Bulldogs have this game. Michigan versus The Ohio State, one of the biggest games of the year. They're both undefeated. Championship stuff is in this game. Championship stuff is in this game. I have a feeling whoever wins this game, I'm going to call it, will play Georgia in the championship game. That's what I'm going to say here. Number 3, Michigan Wolverines versus The Ohio State. I'm going to tell you, man, Ohio State's going to win this game. South Carolina versus Clemson. This is a tricky game. This is a very tricky game. South Carolina, they're playing for something. Something is going on out there in South Carolina, and I'm going to follow it all the way home. The South Carolina Gamecocks will knock down Clemson tomorrow in an upset. Kentucky versus Louisville. Kentucky was doing well at first. I don't know what got into Kentucky. They played Louisville. I'm picking Louisville for this game. Alabama versus Auburn in the Iron Bowl. It's not the same. This is not the same Iron Bowl that's been in the past. This is a different Iron Bowl matchup here. Alabama, they have to win this game. I don't want to see them go 9-3, but I will say this. I do think Alabama might get the Orange Bowl. Shall they prevail and win tomorrow against Auburn? Iowa State versus TCU. I got to go with TCU in this game. Penn State, Michigan State, I'm going with Michigan State. Utah, Colorado for some odd reason. I don't know why. LSU versus Texas A&M. I can't go with LSU at all. I'm not a Tigers fan at all. I have to be honest, call it down the middle. Texas A&M will win that game. UCF versus South Florida. Notre Dame versus USC. This is going to be a good game, folks, but guess what? I'm going with Notre Dame. I love the way the head coach have those guys believing and have those guys playing. I got Notre Dame. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Tennessee fell off. The quarterback's out for the year. I got to go. I'm still going with Tennessee. Kansas and Kansas State. I don't care what no one tells me. The Kansas Jayhawks, they played well at the start of the season. They fell off like a bad habit. But you know what? They're going to be 7-5. They're going to be K-State. Washington versus Washington State. I'm going with Washington State. That is your games for college football. Telling you, it's a lot of great games going on this weekend. College basketball is back. The NBA is heating up. The NFL is heating up. It's getting better. So let's get you the games for the NFL this Sunday, because I will not be on, but I will be on every Monday on YouTube at 7:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be here. Let's get you lined up for the games on Sunday. I know everybody's excited. I know everyone is very excited. The NFL is heating up. Josh Allen, is he the best quarterback in the NFL? That is a question that everyone wants to know. Well, the play shows for itself. The play of Josh Allen shows for itself. So why not say he's not a top 5 quarterback? What is going on with people? Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback, hands down. But is he better than Patrick Mahomes? But is he a better quarterback than Patrick Showtime Mahomes? So let's get into the games for tomorrow. The Buccaneers versus my Cleveland Browns. Well, sometimes you gotta call it like you see it. I can't go against Tom Brady. They will beat my Browns. And Deshaun Watson is on his way back, but is it too late? The Cincinnati Bengals versus Tennessee. I love the way Tennessee's playing. I like Derrick Henry. I can't go against Derrick Henry. The Titans beat the Bengals Sunday. The Texans versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins is on that train. They're going to win. The Bears versus the Jets. Zach Wilson got benched. They're 6-4. How did they get there? Okay, how did they get there? Justin Fields is injured. But I'm not going to knock the New York Jets. Chalk it up for the Jets to win that game. Falcons and the Commanders. Atlanta has been playing very well. Very well. I'm going with Atlanta over the Commanders. The Broncos, Panthers, it's a trash of a game. It's nasty. Russell Wilson, I think the end is getting near for him. But I got to go with the Panthers. Ravens, Jaguars. The Jaguars are playing okay. They're playing okay, but I got to go with the Jaguars. Chargers, Cardinals. Raiders, Seahawks. Raiders. Chalk it up. Rams, Chiefs. 49ers, Saints, 49ers. Eagles and Green Bay, Sunday Night Football. Fight, Eagles. Fly away. The Eagles will win that game. And then Monday night, the Steelers and Colts. This will be another great game with Ben Roethlisberger was there. But I'm going with the Colts in this game. I'm a big fan of Jeff Saturday. I think he's doing a very, very, very great job so far out in Indy. Do you think he can turn it around right now? What do y'all guys think? I think he can. I really do think he can probably turn that bad boy around out in Indiana. Let's jump to the NBA and the games for today. Here we go. The Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Hornets. Magic versus 76ers. Portland Trail Blazers versus the New York Knicks. The Kings, they're playing really well too. They're playing the Boston Celtics. The Brooklyn Nets, they're starting to wake up. They're playing the Pacers. The Heat and the Wizards. The Hawks versus Houston. The Pelicans versus the Grizzlies. Cleveland versus the Bucks. I was so wrong about Cleveland. Up to I don't believe in Cleveland. Now I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to see Cleveland get up there in the East. Let's look at the standings while I have time. In the East, these are your top 6 teams in the East. Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Atlanta, Indiana, and Washington. Check this out. At the bottom is New York at 7, Toronto at 8, Philly at 9, Brooklyn's at 10. Now, Chicago, Miami, Orlando, Charlotte, and Detroit are at your bottom. The West, look at this. Now, it was Portland. Now, Portland has fallen to the 9th. Okay? So it's Phoenix, Denver, New Orleans, Utah, Sacramento, Clippers. Memphis at 7. Minnesota is at 8. Portland's $9 at 10. Your outside looking in, Golden State, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Lakers, and Houston. That's that. That's how fast and how crazy the West can turn ship. But I'm looking for Golden State to wake up. I'm looking for the Lakers to wake up. Brooklyn is starting to wake up. They have the same record as Golden State. They're starting to wake up. The Lakers, they're not waking up. Something needs to be done. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Big Sean Sports Podcast. I will be back here every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. as much as I possibly can. So thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Thank you guys for listening.